the worst coin ever. That's what some people say. Tether, or USDT, has been the largest stablecoin since its inception about a decade ago, but people still believe it may collapse any day now. The Lindy effect is a rule in technology that says that if something is around for at least 10 years, the chances it will stay relevant for the next 10 years go up parabolically. Tether, it's been around. So why so much hate against USDT, the coin that allows us to trade effectively? Today, we're going to be breaking down USDT so you understand the truth behind crypto's big bad. And also, of course, a few pegging jokes. Let's get it. Welcome to Ben Armstrong Crypto X. Don't just trade crypto, experience it. If you're new, subscribe to the channel to start your crypto journey the right way by joining Ben Nation. Today, we're taking a look at USDT so you know what is fact and what is FUD. By the end of this video, you will understand why people use USDT and whether or not it is right for you. Stick around all the way until the very end of this video to get my personal take on Tether. You definitely want to stick around for that. Tether, with the ticker USDT, is the biggest stablecoin in crypto. It is currently ranked number 3, just behind Bitcoin and Ethereum, with a market cap of over $91 billion. The all-time chart for Tether is extremely volatile and exciting. Just kidding. It's floated around $1 since its launch nearly a decade ago, because that's what stablecoins are supposed to do. They're supposed to stay the same price all the time. That's why they're called stablecoins. Stablecoins are designed to be pegged to a particular asset, which means that they will maintain the same price. I guess you could say that stablecoins are a bit like my old pal TJ, because they were designed to be pegged. Hey, I'm not judging, or am I? Pegging to an asset, though, isn't an exact science, because there is usually a small price difference of just a fraction of a cent. These small variations aren't a big deal, though, and sometimes they can even create arbitrage opportunities for traders taking advantage of the small price differences between stablecoins. These price differences are rarely ever noticeable, but there were a few occasions when Tether started to go a bit crazy and began trading much higher or lower than $1. When this happens to a stablecoin, we say that it lost its peg. Luckily, this only happened a few times to Tether, and it was able to correct itself very quickly. 2018, Tether's price fell to 88 cents for a short time because there were rumors that Bitfinex, the main exchange for Tether, was running out of money. Tether lost its peg again during the Terra Luna collapse, but quickly recovered. In both of those situations, the price of Tether bounced back because the team was able to cover all the transactions with the money held in their treasury. There have been a lot of doubts about this over the years, but the Tether team claims that every dollar they issue is backed up 1-to-1 with assets in their reserves. To their credit, they have been able to honor this promise in situations where Tether lost its peg. Even in those cases where most exchanges are showing Tether at a lower price, like the time it was trading for 88 cents, Tether holders were still able to swap their USDT for dollars at the peg price directly through the company. However, this only applies to customers who are able to go through Tether's strict KYC policies. So this option is not available to many or maybe even most Tether holders. Still, this mechanism helps rebuild market confidence during times of volatility. When traders see that a large volume of Tether can still be redeemed at the correct price, they can start to feel more comfortable that the company behind the stablecoin is actually solvent. That's when they start buying up the cheap Tether, which eventually corrects the price on the exchanges. So you could say that arbitrage protects Tether to an extent. Tether is deployed across over a dozen chains, and you can trade it on pretty much every major blockchain. It's usually one of the very first assets to get liquidity on both centralized and decentralized exchanges. Most people associate Tether with Ethereum, since it is used across Ethereum DeFi. But believe it or not, Tether is actually most active on Tron. This is because most Tether transactions are being sent between centralized exchange accounts, where users have the option of choosing between Ethereum and Tron, which is a fraction of the cost. You know what's even cheaper than a transaction on Tron? Smashing the like button and hit the subscribe button. It's easy. It only takes you 2 seconds, and it's entirely free, and it makes me feel great. Now let's take a look back at the history of Tether. This should be fun. In October of 2014, a stablecoin called Realcoin launched on the Omni layer, an early layer 2 network for the Bitcoin blockchain. The next month, the team announced that they were rebranding to Tether, which is probably a good choice, because they obviously didn't put a whole lot of thought into the first name. The team was led by Reed Collins, Craig Sellers, and Brock Pierce, a grown-up version of one of the kids from the Mighty Ducks. A lot of people really didn't start to use Tether until the next year when Bitfinex, one of the main exchanges for trading altcoins at the time, set up Tether trading pairs for many of their assets. This is a big deal because most exchanges only offer Bitcoin trading pairs for altcoins. So you always had to be holding a volatile asset. If you wanted to lock in your profits, you would have to sell your Bitcoin and then put dollars back into your bank account. How asinine, but that's the way we used to do it. When Bitfinex started allowing people to use Tether, this unlocked a ton of trading opportunities. Now, traders could really take advantage of the wild price swings in crypto and lock in their gains without cashing out of the ecosystem. This was a massive utility that made Tether very popular with traders. Speaking of popular with traders, make sure to sign up for Phoenix, the best place to trade out there. Leverage the high IQ strategic indicator and the e-residency program IMPLODE to supercharge your trading. We've got a QR code on the screen and a link for Phoenix in the description. Thank you, Phoenix, for being a sponsor of the channel. Now back to sketchy exchanges. As the industry grew, Tether became one of the most controversial topics in crypto. In fact, it's become one of the biggest FUD narratives about crypto, with many people believing that Tether is a ticking time bomb that will eventually blow up and crash the entire market. I never really bought into this idea, even though I'm sure that there was probably some shady business going on behind the scenes at some point, especially in the early days. By now, there have been a few different cases where the government has had an opportunity to look into their books and nothing is totally blown up. Yes, Tether has had to pay some fines, but nothing was found that would threaten the stability of the business. The drama for Tether started in late 2017 when an anonymous Twitter account going by Bitfinex claimed that Tether was not fully backed and that Bitfinex was creating counterfeit Tether. The account also raised suspicions about how closely Bitfinex and Tether were intertwined, pointing to records that were leaked in the famous Paradise Papers, which revealed how the ruling class hid their money to avoid paying taxes. The leak revealed that Bitfinex executives, Philip Potter and Giancarlo Damascene, were the ones who established Tether Holdings Limited in the British Virgin Islands in 2014. There was actually a lot more crossover between the two companies than they wanted to admit. Tether Limited is owned by a company called IMPLODE, which is also the parent company of Bitfinex. Doubts and rumors continued to spread about both Tether and Bitfinex throughout 2018, but that didn't stop the market cap from reaching into the billions for the first time. The timing of this growth is interesting because the rest of the market was crashing out and we were entering into a 2-year-long crypto winter. This makes sense if you think about it. People were rushing into Tether so they could try to lock in some of their profits as the rest of the market was falling. This happens during every bear market now, but this was the first time we saw it happen in crypto because it was the first time we had stablecoins. Tether's explosive growth made the industry very suspicious though. There were already some doubts about Tether and Bitfinex, and now Tether was printing more USDT than it had ever had before in the middle of a bear market. Everyone started to wonder, does Tether actually have all this money in their reserves? This eventually led to a full-scale panic where traders started dumping Tether everywhere, causing that crash down to 88 cents that I mentioned a little bit earlier in the video. The price quickly corrected, but Tether caught the attention of the US government, who was already unhappy that something like USDT even existed. A month after the crash, the US Department of Justice announced that it was investigating Tether for market manipulation, based on another popular rumor that was floating around at the time. Now, investigators never found any evidence of market manipulation, but prosecutors were finally able to bring a case against Tether in 2019. A lawsuit filed by New York Attorney General Letitia James accused Tether of losing or stealing $850 million worth of customer funds and then using money from their other companies to fill the hole. The prosecution was unable to prove this in court, and Tether was able to get off with an $18.5 million settlement and did not have to admit to any wrongdoing. In 2021, Tether had to pay an even bigger fine of $41.6 million for claiming that every single Tether token was backed by $1 in a bank account, when in reality, we all kind of knew this, but it was interesting to see in real life, Tether tokens were backed by a basket of assets that included dollars, not only dollars. If you want your basket of assets to include gold coins, check out our channel sponsor Stake, the world's largest social casino, where you can win gold coins and chat with other degens. Visit the link in the description or scan the QR code on the screen to get your account started with Stake. Fun, games, social chat, and more. BitArmstrong Crypto X is powered by Stake. So, after all this bickering and fighting, it seems like Tether has gotten very friendly with the US government. Last month, in November of 2023, Tether announced a partnership with the US Department of Justice, that's right, the US DOJ, to help them investigate crimes and track down lost funds from victims of theft. Government relationships aren't always a guarantee of success or solvency, as we saw with FTX, but it shows just how far Tether has come from the days when it was a target of the DOJ. And this does not mean that Tether's legal troubles are over, but it means that Tether is probably here to stay. This isn't all that much different from the mainstream financial institutions that are always in court for breaking laws or regulations. They consider these legal expenses and a cost of doing business. I think that Tether has plenty of cases like this ahead of it and plenty of more fines to pay. but that won't have any impact on the business itself or the wider market. Now, I had the opportunity to do a bit of investigative journalism myself in Deltec, a small bank in the Bahamas that was used by Tether and FTX. While I was down in the islands investigating FTX and trying to score an interview with SBF, I took a trip to Deltec and was shocked by what I found. I was really hoping to find like a normal bank with nothing suspicious going on, and we did find nothing, but it was very suspicious because we found literally nothing. I mean, the entire building was empty. I talked to a security guard who told me that he saw people emptying the office into the dumpster the week before we were there. I was able to walk into the bank and right up to the vault without anybody stopping me. There was some more drama that day though, and you can read all about it in my new book, Catching Up to FTX. We've got a QR code on the screen and a link in the description for you guys. And honestly though, this is why you guys should subscribe to this channel. No other channel out there takes you to the stories and often somehow finds itself entangled in the stories that make crypto exciting. So if you aren't a member of Ben Nation yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button. The fact though that Tether and FTX had the same banker is another one of those tiny details that makes me hesitant to ever recommend using Tether. Deltec is still getting in trouble too though. In June 2023, the Secret Service confiscated around $58 million from the bank's US-based accounts as part of a massive fraud investigation. This was more related to criminals who are apparently using Deltec services, and Deltec says that they are fully cooperating with the investigation. Now this is a small bit of a red flag, and there are a lot more when we look back at Tether's history, which is why I mostly use USDC when I want to stable up. If you want to learn more about USDC and how it was chosen by the establishment, we've got a video on that coming out very soon. So here's my personal take on Tether. I still trade with Tether from time to time, and I don't believe that Tether is some kind of existential risk for the entire crypto market. If it was the only stablecoin on the market, that would be a very dangerous central point of failure, and that's how it was for a long time. But that's just not the case anymore. Tether is still dominant, but USDC has been catching up fast. And this new cycle will probably bring even more competition to the stablecoin space. Within a few years, Tether will probably be one of many stablecoin projects, and it will fall far behind USDC, which will most likely have the government support. But it will always have a special place in crypto history as the first major stablecoin. Let me know whether you believe Tether has a special place in crypto health or deserves a spot with crypto royalty. Drop your comments down below, and don't forget to hit the like button on your way out. Helps us keep the lights on. Be blessed.